Hey guys, Trip here. And you've guessed it, it's another Banggood review. And there's a little twist on this one because this little fidget spinner that you see in front of me over here is actually a free trial product that I've got from Banggood, and they pretty much sent this to me for me to do a review on it. And I must admit, I was quite impressed in receiving this spinner. I mean, just look at it. It's come in a tin case with a clear front window, and if you look on the inside, it's housed perfectly in a piece of die-cut foam. I mean, you wouldn't expect that with a fidget spinner. Most fidget spinners come in a little cardboard box and they mount it in a piece of plastic and it's on the inside. This one comes in a tin case. I must say that it was packaged really nicely because this tin is really soft, and the only damage that I've seen, and this has traveled all the way from China to Slovenia, but if you see those two little dents over there, that is pretty much the only damage that has been sort of put on the casing with the transporting. Aside from the casing, if we take a look at the actual spinner, let's just move the casing out of the way, and if I forget to mention, there is foam at the bottom here so that it doesn't get scratched as well. But if we take it out of its casing and we look at it, I mean, it really is a pretty pastel turquoise color. It's sort of blue or turquoise, I'm not so sure. I guess there'll be a different opinion on the color or the shade of the color. I guess that really doesn't matter. But if you look at it, I mean, it really does look good. But if you look at it too long, you're going to notice that the plastic doesn't seal up perfectly around the edges. I mean, you can see that there's a gap there. And that runs all the way around. And if you look, it is a tiny bit ill-fitting. Not too much to make me discouraged by it, but it is a little bit ill-fitted. Okay, so the spinner's got a charger port on one end over there, and a power switch on the same load right over there. And if we look on the other side of the spinner, we can see that there is a die punch for a speaker right there. And if we flip the switch, spinner jumps to life with all these LEDs flashing, and as you heard, there's a tone that comes out of the speaker. I am unable at this point to show you just how really easy it is to bind this little device via Bluetooth to your mobile device so you can play music through the speaker, because I'm actually using the mobile device to make this video. But what's rather amazing is that they've managed to cram LED lights, a speaker, lithium battery, and a circuit board that controls the LEDs, has the Bluetooth, plays the music, and is able to charge all into this little spinner. And I mean, if the lights go on, you can actually see where everything is mounted on the inside. And they've pretty much put a battery on one end, a circuit board on another end, and the speaker on one end, and they've managed to get this thing balanced pretty perfectly. I mean, it is balanced really nicely, which is quite surprising, considering there's so much technology just crammed into this little device. And I mean, I found that really fascinating that they're able to cram so much technology into this little device. If we look at the quality of the technology on the inside of this device, the LED controller is really neat. I mean, it's not going to be beat by play, so if you're going to play any sound through here, the LEDs are not going to flash according to the beat of the music. But it does pretty much have a cool, let me see if I can spin this with one hand. It does pretty much have a cool rhythm to it. If you're going to be playing music through this little speaker over here, I must admit it is not the best quality speaker. I mean, the sound that's going to come out of this thing is really not good. And it gets even worse when you spin it. And it's a pity that I'm not able to show that right now, or I don't think that the speaker is going to catch the sound quality anyways. But when you spin this, it sounds like you've put one of your house speakers in front of an industrial fan. I mean, if anybody has been a child and switched a fan on and then put your face in front of it and spoken into a fan, that's what it sounds like when the music's coming through that little speaker and you spin it. Although, mind you, if you do put the volume really low, the speaker quality isn't that bad. It sounds more or less like a really cheap laptop speaker when it's really soft. But that to me, really doesn't matter. And I'll tell you exactly why I think it doesn't matter. The price of this thing, €2.40, or like $3 US. It's under the €3 price point. So you're paying €3 for a fidget spinner that's got a lithium battery in it, a circuit board with Bluetooth, a speaker, and a charger port with a nifty little switch on the end. And you're paying just about €2.50 for it. And let's not forget the kind of casing that it comes in. I think that is completely worth it. I mean, you're not going to write home to mom about this fidget spinner. I mean, there's nothing extraordinary about it. And to be quite honest, I don't think it's really all that practical either. But it doesn't have to be practical, and it doesn't have to be amazing. You're paying €2.50 for this. And I mean, look at it. It is a really pretty color. I mean, it's a really good plastic. It's got a bunch of technology, and you can show your friends and be like, hey, guess what's in this thing? There's a lithium battery, a speaker, and it's Bluetooth enabled. You can connect it to your phone, and you can play music through it, and then you can spin it, and it's going to sound really terrible and make you laugh. And I mean, that's what makes it fun. And you can also tell them that it's cheaper than the fidget spinner with absolutely no technology inside it. Or pretty much half the price of the fidget spinner with absolutely no technology in it that you're probably going to pick up at like a convenience store anywhere around the country. So yeah, on that point, this is not a bad product. The workmanship could have been a little bit better, but I think it's good enough. The internals are brilliant. I mean, I can't complain about the circuit board, I can't complain about the LEDs. And I can't complain about the charger point. When you do plug a charger into it, there is a little red light that shines over there that shows you it's charging. And I'm not so sure how long you charge this thing for, but if you... I have played with this thing quite a bit, and I must admit, I've never run out of battery, and this thing's been on for about 2, 3, maybe even 4 hours, and I haven't run out of battery, and these LEDs just flash and flash and flash and flash and flash away. So yeah, the battery in there is a really good battery. I think it might be like 50 milliamps, or if I'm overshooting it over there, maybe 50 milliamps. I mean, you don't really get much information on it, but yeah, it does last a long time. With regards to the bearings that are inside, let me just pop off the cap so you can have a look at the bearings. They're not the best bearings, I must admit. It doesn't have the longest spin time. I mean, I've got other fidget spinners that spin a lot longer than this one. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this fidget spinner, I'm going to put another one next to it. So I'm going to pause the video, I'm going to put another one next to it. I'll spin that one first, and then I'll spin this one, and you can see the difference between the two. So just give me 1 second so I can do that. Okay, so we've got another fidget spinner with some LEDs in it, and I mean, this is not rechargeable at all, which is pretty stupid, because once the batteries run out in here, I don't see any way of it ever working again, whereas this one is rechargeable. So on a comparison point, this one wins hands down, obviously, but just for sake of the bearings, let's switch them both on. I'm going to spin this one first, and crud. Let me spin this one first, I'll spin this one next. And you can see it, that one on that side looks a lot better while the LEDs are showing. I mean, it does look a lot better, but you'll see that this one is going to come to a standstill before that one does. And if it doesn't, it's obviously because I haven't spun it fast enough, but let's look at them. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that that's the better spinner. And that one over there, oops, well, that's cocked it up. But that one over there, €7. This one over here, €2.50. Well, I touched that one, and that one still stopped spinning before that one, so it's obvious that the bearings in here aren't too brilliant, but I mean, that can be forgiven. I mean, everything can be forgiven when we look at the price point of this product. The price point of this being €2.50 justifies just about everything that you can find that's wrong with it. I'm not going to say a lot more about this because I'm reaching a 10-minute mark on this video. It's a fidget spinner. It's really cheap. Do I recommend it? Yes, buy it. It's probably not the best review on this fidget spinner that I've made by video, but if you wanna read the details about it, I would advise that you read the written review and don't pay too much attention to the video review. But yeah, that's this fidget spinner. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.